All right, so Ben Askren, where does he go from here? What are the things that he needs to work on? What are the things that we should expect from him in the future? Look, Ben is his own man. Oh, this thing is killing me. Ben is his own man, and we've seen that from organization to organization as he has moved on. He's also, I don't know how old he is. I want to say he's pushing 36, maybe a little bit older. I don't know. It's up to him. I think realistically, Ben, there's never been any doubt that Ben has the talent to continue to win. Stylistically, the matchups that he's been given have been the toughest that they could possibly give him. Robbie Lawler was probably one of the toughest guys for him to fight. The next guy would have probably been, I didn't think Masvidal was going to be a super hard fight for him, but it was a good fight for him. I would say it was equal, but things happened. This is the game. Masvidal knew he was probably going to get taken down, and so what he did was he worked on the flying knee, and it just so happened to work. Doesn't mean it's going to work every single time, but he managed to land it. Tip my hat to Masvidal. But Ben Askren now, does he have enough in him to make a long run back?
He's only 35, but
he's 35, but that's still pretty. That's like, 90 in dog years for MMA. I'm just letting you know. It's pretty old, man. You start thinking about that type of stuff, it's hard. Look, Ben is good. We saw with Demian Maia. Demian Maia is not easy to take down. We saw him take Robbie Lawler down. Robbie Lawler is not easy to take down. Physically, he's strong. All these things, he's got all the intangibles still. I'd hate to see him fuss and work out over and stress about all this stuff. You're either going to fight or you're not. Don't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I've said this multiple times about fighters, you guys. When you start talking about retirement is when you should probably retire, and I think someone brought it up to him and said, you don't know where, what are you looking to do from here? And retirement is an option. It truly is. He hasn't progressed at all on the feet. I want to say since he is getting older, the speed is not there. The speed on the takedown is not there. The speed on the defensive defending is not there. All of those things are not there. Do I think I thought Ben was doing an okay job in the fight. The fight was a toss for me at the time. I had Ben probably ahead just a tiny bit based off the takedowns. But like I said, who was trying to finish the fight more was probably Demian Maia. So I can't say how the judges were judging it. I do have to agree, though, with T. Wood. Tyron Woodley said that he has been used to being able to escape and scramble and use his funky wrestling to get out of these positions against top jiu-jitsu guys. But he wasn't able to do it against Demian Maia, and it cost him the fight. I don't know if these are these are the guys that they're going to continue to give him. They're going to give him guys that could potentially beat him, and I knew that coming in. And if you guys go back to even when Sammy and the Punkin was filming more, and Sammy and I were talking, is that anytime they bring in a champion from someone else, or anytime they bring in another fighter from somewhere else, their idea is to get you beat. And so what they have done, they've lined up whoever the best fit stylistically is for you to lose or to beat you. And so I think with you had ended up with Robbie Lawler to begin with, who's really hard to take down and has one crunch power, and we know that. And then also with George Masvidal, who has good power, but people always underestimate his wrestling. His wrestling is phenomenal. Hard to take down, good wrestler. He's got good power, obviously, in his hands. Good striking, mixes it up really well. He's a very well-rounded fighter. That's George Masvidal. Even though the fight only lasted, I want to say, 6 seconds or 5 seconds or something like that. I mean, it's one of those things you never expect to happen. Then his loss to Demian Maia this week was, it's unfortunate. Where does he go from here? I really don't know. I think he needs to be a little bit more choosy with his opponent, or he just needs to keep just saddle in, buddy. Let's do this, or he can walk away. He doesn't seem like someone who is a quitter to me, like someone that would quit. Someone who would quit coming off of a loss, 2 losses like that. I'd like to see him try to get another a win and slowly, progressively work his way back in. But I don't know. I really couldn't tell you where he would go from there. I mean, realistically, outside of Demian Maia, I could see them potentially giving him Colby Covington if Colby loses to Usman, or giving him Usman, after that. That's the only thing I could see them, because both those guys have phenomenal wrestling. They'd have a hard time potentially taking him down. And their striking, even though to me, both of their striking is not that great, but their striking is better than his. So Demian Maia, but neither one of those guys have the submission game that Demian Maia has. So when you talk about who you could potentially give him next, that would be probably the format, I would say, somewhere in there. But then you probably don't want to waste. You probably don't want to waste either one of those guys on someone who is 35 years old, potentially maybe getting ready to walk the sport. Yep. But I also could see, because Dana doesn't seem like he likes Colby all that much, I could see them, if Colby loses to Usman, giving him Ben Askren and being like, hey, loser walks. Loser's out of here, buddy.
That would be fun.
I could see that. I could see that fight potentially coming to fruition. So, yeah. I think that would probably be the layout.